Oh, YouTube, what is going on? Today we're doing another video with this little nugget of pure joy and goodness. We are going to do a similar video to what we did last time with the Fender Twin, but this time we're going to do a different amp. So 3 guitars, 1 amp. But if you like this sort of stuff and it's helpful for you, please consider liking and subscribing. We're only like 70 away from hitting 500 subs. So if you guys could boost those numbers up to 500, that'd be sick. Greatly appreciated. Thanks to everyone else already who's jumped on and liked and subscribed, all the people who leave comments. It really does mean a lot because this channel is like minuscule and is a bit of a passion project for me. So to see you guys engaging in it is, it's really awesome. So thank you. But yeah, we're going to do something similar to what we did with the Fender Dual Reverb video. I'll put the little thing up here. 3 guitars, 4 amps. So the amps that we're going to use today are part of the ODS Legends pack. So Dumble Overdrive Specials. There's 4 different types of Overdrive Specials in there, so 4 different versions of the amp. As you may or may not know, Dumble never really made the same amp twice. He would make amps specifically for a player and a player's style, so no 2 amps are necessarily the same. They could be similar, they could have similar traits, but they're not the same. So the ODS Legends pack has 4 different amps in there. 3 guitars we're going to use today. First one's going to be a cheapie, a Squier Contemporary Vibe Strat, one of the 40th anniversary ones with a matte finish, but it's essentially a stock Contemporary Vibe Strat. We will use a Gibson SG for humbuckers, and then we're going to use the Yamaha SA-50 again for something a little bit weird and left of center. Signal chain is going to be guitars into TONEX into my interface, so all the effects and stuff that you hear is all TONEX. There'll be no external stomp boxes. There's no reverb going on in my DAW or anything like that. Everything is TONEX. So without further ado, let's get into it. So yeah, that was a shit ton of amps that I will never ever be able to afford. All right, so that was the ODS Legends pack. What do you guys think? What was your favorite tone? The amp sounded great. As with anything that's in the TONEX, you know, you're always going to get a few captures that you don't necessarily like. The beauty of this, there's I think about 20 of them in the ODS thing with a couple stomp boxes as well. Credit again to IK who put this pack together. They smashed it out of the park. For the most part, I used the TONEX as a pedal platform. The Dumble's fucking kick ass at that. They take pedals like a champ. I was mucking around with it the other day. It's a different flavor of, you know, a clean or edge of breakup pedal platform amp that sounds great. The higher gain driven lead tones with a bit of reverb and a bit of compression on it just fucking slap. I've never really been one to buy into the mystique of a $250,000 amp. Like, I just don't understand it. Never played one, never will play one. I don't even think I've actually heard a real one in person. In saying that though, there is something about them and, you know, how Dumble made each amp individual to the players that is kind of special. It's part of, you know, rock and roll and music history, and like I can respect that. But the tones are cool. To be able to throw the tones off, you know, a highly desirable amp into a tiny, tiny little box, it's pretty awesome. Like, it sounds great. I wouldn't say I'm a Dumble convert from this. I like the illusion that the amps that are mainly in TONEX are accessible to, you know, to everyone. So if I play a Fender Twin Reverb, obviously not like a vintage one or anything like that, but a Fender Twin Reverb in the TONEX, and I really like it, at the very least I could go and buy like a, you know, one of those Tone Master Fender Twins and get close enough. I like that idea of being able to play something on a modeler or a capture device or whatever you want to call it, and also have a real world equivalent that is attainable. For me, a Dumble isn't. So while it is cool, it still kind of feels to me like a toy and a little bit of a novelty. Not to discredit the tones, because the tones are awesome. The tones are great. But a lot of what I do is using the TONEX pedal to create tones to record with. So then in a real life setting, if we're playing a gig, I can sort of assimilate those tones with backline amps or amps that I have. And I don't feel I could probably do that with a Dumble, because I don't have 250 grand to buy a Dumble. Credit to IK though, the tones are sick. Like, apart from that fucking poor me ramble, the tones are great. They sound cool. It takes pedals like a champ. The lead tones are awesome. It's like a really inspiring, nice mid-rangey, punchy guitar tone that sits really, really well in a mix. So I can't fault them with that. It's just, you know, I got to get out of my own way and enjoy it for what it is, I guess. But yeah, like I said, if this is helpful, like and subscribe, because, you know, you guys are legends, so that'd be really cool if you did that. I don't know what else I've really got to say to you. I hate doing these conclusions because they always just fucking suck a little bit, to be completely fair. But yeah, let's just wrap this shit up now. Peace out. I will see you, I don't know, next time I see you, because I'll try and do videos once a week, but it sometimes pushes out to a couple of weeks with work and uni commitments and all that sort of stuff. But hey, we're only human. Anyway, peace out. Have a good one. Bye.